Hey guys, Matty Ice here, flat earther, Nantucket, Massachusetts. Why I became a flat earther? Well, I always did have kind of questions in school, like most kids do when you tell a kid that he actually lives on a ball. And you say, what about the people underneath? Aren't they upside down? You know, so there was always that, that's what they're teaching you. So you just accept it. You just, that's what it is. And, gravity's a magic force, it'll pull you down, but if you get far enough, you can float away. But you don't float away. It keeps you in a circle. It just doesn't make sense. It does two things, two of the same things, And I like it when I say, how come we don't spin off? And people say, centrifugal force. It's like, no, centrifugal force is why I would be thrown off. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Once you start really looking into this thing, it's absolute nonsense. First, the globe Earth is nonsense. Because, the first thing I said was flat Earth. Come on. But once I started digging into it, it's just not as cut and dry. It's not as cut and dry, when I say flat, I just mean not a spinning ball, Earth. That's all we really know. We don't really know much more than that. We don't know about the dome. We don't know we don't know if maybe it's a fixed dome and we're actually on a big floaty thing and we spin. Who knows? There's an edge. I think his name is Henry Moseley. He was friends with royalty, we'll say. And he was going to be the first one to trek across Antarctica. And supposedly 30 miles short of trekking all the way across Antarctica, he had problems and he had to call for help. And then he died. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he saw the edge or whatever and they had to take him out. Possible. Very possible. But I just think that if you believe in this thing and you are aware that you're on a flat, non-spinning, non-moving surface, tell people. Don't be scared to tell people. The web is not just... what's on the web is always can be considered bullshit anyways. You need to look somebody in the eye and explain to them that, there is no Antarctica. There's an ice wall. And, the sun and moon are the same size and they revolve around. That's the thing. People can't accept, they don't understand the model. When you say it's flat, the first thing people think of is falling off the edge. So you got to come up with like a salesman type tactic of how to, get this idea across. Because you got to be able to get a couple ideas across the table real quick before people shut down and say, fucking dude, you're crazy. Stop. I don't want to hear it. Stop. But if I've watched people. This is why I'm into the flat earth so much. Because I've watched people. I've watched the change in their eyes when I start explaining things. You understand? I watch them they get the realization and they're like, hey, yeah, how come I see the same stars all the time? And you're telling me people in Australia or south of the border can see the North Star? And I say, yeah. And you can just see it. You can see the realization. I like that. Because the more of us that know, the better it is. And you need to know as much of it as you can so that you can tell people. And don't be afraid and when people tell you you're stupid and you're crazy because, hey, Copernicus said the world was round and he was jailed for the rest of his life. I believe by the Catholic Church, but I'm not exactly sure. But I know he was jailed for the rest of his life. And then later on they adopted his theories. Reason being, people, that's the reason right there. Commercial ships were sailing larger and larger distances. People who were crew on those ships were afraid they were going to fall off. And I believe that has a lot to do with why they adopted Copernicus's model. Anyways, peace to all flat earthers and non-flat earthers. Peace to all you globies. But, yeah, it's going to be all right, man. It's going to be all right.